Well, good evening, Arkansas. This is Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron back here once again. I'm here to give you guys a quick radar update on what's going on across the natural state, and then we're going to talk to you guys about Tuesday and the potential seeing additional significant severe weather back into the forecast here. So first off, want to kind of address a few things. We do have the Weather Center back up 100%. We do have our Wi-Fi back on and our power back on and everything like that. I want to kind of give a special shout out to Xfinity and also to the energy workers and all the tree companies and stuff like that has been really helping out in terms of the damage we suffered on Friday and quickly getting these utilities back up and running here. So those folks are doing an amazing job. They're going as fast as possible. If you don't have it back on, just rest assured that they're working their behinds off to get it up and running here. So let's take a look at current radar at this point here. Nothing severe at this current time. I know we do have that tornado warning down there in Shreveport at this point, but the warm front itself is well south of the natural state, and we're not really expecting this warm front to make it too much into the state tonight. It will be mainly very, very late tonight into the first part of your Monday morning here. But right now, we've got a couple of thunderstorms down here in southern Arkansas here, kind of embedded within this cluster of heavy rainfall from basically Mena all the way down to Texarkana over to El Dorado and across the area at this current time. As I mentioned before, none of these storms are severe. Yes, I do fully realize they're going to be loud, and I understand, anxiety is just through the sky at this point because of what happened on Friday and then the previous Friday with the Rolling Fork tornado here. So I rest assured you guys, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings in the state, and I am not expecting a tornado outbreak or anything like that going into the night here. But I will say for our folks down there in North Louisiana, Northwestern Louisiana, and North Central Louisiana, especially along I-20 and south, I would definitely have a severe weather plan ready to go for tonight here. But we do have a couple of special weather statements in place, mainly for hail and some gusty winds here. But as I mentioned before, I'm not expecting a whole lot of severe weather as we get towards tonight and into the first part of your Monday morning here. So let's go ahead and talk to you guys about Tuesday here. There's been a lot of controversy about, this risk, especially after what happened this past Friday here. So we do have an enhanced risk for much of Arkansas, from Fort Smith down to Texarkana, over to Camden, to Stuttgart, to Brinkley, up towards the Jonesboro area, the Walnut Ridge area at this point. We do have that slight risk, by the way, from Fayetteville, the Magnolia, El Dorado, over towards the Blytheville area. And you do notice something. Some parts of the slight risk area is hatched for the potential of seeing significant damaging winds and a couple of tornadoes here. Some of those tornadoes could potentially be strong within this hatched area here. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's not limited to just the enhanced risk. It is in place for the slight risk area as well. So just watch that closely as we get towards that Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening time frame. And I've had a lot of people come at me, about, timing, when we're going to get the specifics. I understand, like I mentioned before, I get it. I know anxiety is way through the skies right now, folks, and everybody's just trying to know, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? I cannot put a timing map out this early. I can't. You guys know me full well by now. When we deal with severe weather, it is very rare to get a day 3 or a day 4 timing map out from us because there's just so much uncertainty on, when storms are going to go up, when's everything going to take place and stuff like that. So I know it's going to frustrate a lot of people out there. I understand it. But I cannot help the timing issue. I can't. I can give you a broad-based timing. I can tell you, hey, this is going to be Tuesday evening and a Wednesday morning. If you're patient with me and you stay with us, I guarantee you I will have a specific timing map once we get a better idea. But I don't like giving timing maps out this early in range because they change so much, and I'd rather to give it to you guys first out of the gate instead of just waiting on, instead of just giving it to you, let me rephrase that. I'd rather give you the timing map late, where it being close to the event and you have that specific timing instead of me giving it to you right now or a day, 4 days out, and I have to go and change it over and over and over again, and it ends up becoming frustrating. So just kind of keep that in mind with the whole timing map issues here, guys. I would love to give you a timing map this early. I would love to. but I promise you, I'd have to change it a million times, and it's just going to frustrate you than it is us. So just keep that in mind at this point here. But it's still for something that we're going to monitor very closely as we get towards your Tuesday time frame here. Now, I want to talk about this too, and I know I've been talking about storm anxiety a lot. After Friday, it scared a lot of people. We had a tornado go right through central Arkansas. We had a couple over there in eastern Arkansas, the wind area and everything like that. So, naturally now, you're dealing with more severe weather. It's going to make that anxiety level go way through the roof. So contact us. If you need information in terms of preparations and, radar updates and warning sources and stuff like that, contact us. I guarantee you guys that we are here. We don't abandon anybody across the state. We're not limited to just central Arkansas. We cover the entire state of Arkansas from border to border. So have multiple ways to get warnings. Know your geography. I've had this constant problem over the last couple of days where people didn't know where their counties were. They're getting frustrated with us and stuff like that. Folks, I guarantee you, severe weather preparation would be a million times easier if you knew where your counties was. Remember, a quiet mouth is never heard. If you need that county information, if you need it, contact us. And also, I want to stress this too, going forward, we're going to have county maps on our posts. That way, you don't have to worry about trying to figure out, where's my county or my specific counties and stuff like that. Everything's going to be on our graphics. So keep that in mind, folks. I want to stress that right now. But biggest thing is you got to know where it is, because it's not only, just on our end, but it's a safety thing too, because if there's a tornado warning or something coming your way, you have that game plan. You know where those warnings are in terms of, towns and cities and highways and stuff like that, because it makes it so easy to track those storms. Also, learn more about storms as well. If you need information, folks, contact us. Don't be afraid to contact us. You're not going to annoy us. You're not going to frustrate us or anything like that. As long as you are respectful, and as long as you're coming with us with a legit question and stuff like that, especially with severe weather, we're not going to make you feel like you don't know what you're talking about. So you're welcome, open arms here. Contact us, message us, and stuff like that. I guarantee you guys, we are going to be here. And also the radar updates, which obviously that's a day one thing, tracking the radar updates and stuff like that. And then also tornado safety. If you're ever on the roadways, keep this in mind as we get towards Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening and Tuesday night. If you're ever on the roadways or you're planning on traveling, especially now, what I would recommend doing is just kind of making sure you're scouting out your area. Hey, there's a gas station right there. There's a grocery store over there. There's a restaurant right here and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind. Something that you may want to watch and kind of scout out once we get closer to Tuesday at this point. So let's talk about computer model data for just a little bit. And here's computer model data at this time. Here's as always, the timing is right above my head, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. But this is the high risk NAM, and I'm starting you guys off with dew points, because dew points is going to be rather crucial as we get towards this time frame here. Okay, so you can see by the time we get towards tonight, the warm front is south of Arkansas, so I'm not really too concerned about severe weather for tonight. So the warm front is going to lift northward as we get towards the day tomorrow. Instead of today, it's going to be lifting northward tomorrow. So you can see dew points really into the 60s and the low 70s across the state. And then you can see as they continue to surge northward, it really becomes muggy across the state. You're talking dew points 70, 71, 72 degrees. And you're asking, why in the world are we not seeing severe weather for tomorrow? It's because there's what we call a lid in place. There's a capping inversion in place. And it's going to keep these storms from bubbling up and going off tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening here, okay? But you can see by the time we get towards Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening here. Now, you notice something, how your dew points naturally drop off. The biggest thing with that is the reason why they drop off so much is because of the fact that there is some mixing going on. There's some drier air kind of trying to infiltrate in this, and you can see some mixing going on as we get towards Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. This is the number one concern in terms of the severe weather risk down here, because that may limit some of your severe weather threat down here as we get towards Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Once again, by the way, we are going to have a bimodal threat. Your airfield pressure is going to be centered somewhere in here. You can see there's your draw line, just stretched just like this. There's your warm front placement way up here. So you're going to have a threat once again up here in southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, western and west central Illinois. And then you're going to have to watch down here across much of the natural state here for the potential of seeing additional severe weather as we get towards the day on Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening here. Now, the uncertainty and the main reason why you don't have a timing map from us right now is because of the fact that there's a lot of uncertainty on if storms are going to develop, or we're going to see this, or is it going to take off, and stuff like that. So let's go over to our composite reflectivity, or our radar. And you notice something. This is Tuesday evening. This is about 7 p.m. It's right above my head. And you can see there's some isolated showers and stuff going on, but no thunderstorm activity. By this time, on Friday, we had tornado warning central here in Arkansas. We had, tornado warnings everywhere, supercells developing everywhere and all that. But this time around, there's not much going on during the day. It's because of what we call weaker wind fields and also the cap. The cap is going to keep everything in place during the day on Tuesday here. And you can notice up here in Missouri and in southeastern Illinois, not southeastern Illinois, southeastern Iowa and western Illinois, this area up in here is already taken off because your colder air aloft is coming in and is allowing these cells to grow up here in southeastern Iowa. But Arkansas, you still have some warm air aloft, and that's what's keeping everything in place as we get towards this time frame here. Now, we could take this out, and you're going to see very, very quickly how everything just remains calm here in Arkansas. There's not much going on and stuff like that. We have a few showers here and there, few thunderstorms up here in Iowa, but nothing much going on in Arkansas, And then what ends up happening, and this comes out all the way to 60 hours out, but what ends up happening is your main system begins to depart out. You have your frontal boundary here. We will have to watch Arkansas possibly for some thunderstorm activity as we get towards that 7 o'clock p.m. time frame to the 11 o'clock time frame, and then we'll have to watch again from midnight to 8 a.m. because what's going to happen is this line of storms is going to develop out here towards the west. It's going to move east in Arkansas. It's going to produce a significant damage and wind threat, and also the potential of a couple of tornadoes. Some of those tornadoes could be strong. So we will be dealing with this during the overnight hours. I will have safety tips for you guys tomorrow during the day, so make sure you're paying attention to that. But you can see this is right at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you can see the tornado parameters beginning to come into the natural state here. So you're going to be dealing with this during the overnight hours. I know a lot of people think, during the nighttime hours, everything starts to calm down. You're not going to see any severe weather. Unfortunately, instability is actually going to be increasing during the overnight hours instead of decreasing because your system is going to eject out, and you could get a disturbance that rises along the base of the trough, and you can have the potential of seeing some tornadoes. Some of them could be potentially significant, and also potential of significant damaging winds as well here. So to kind of answer everybody's question about, is this going to go moderate or is it going to go another high risk, I would say right now I'd keep it in enhanced across the state. You could sneak a moderate because there is some uncertainty on, are you going to get thunderstorms to develop, what's going to happen during the overnight hours and stuff like that. I could take a look at this is the 12 km NAM. Let's take a look at your composite reflectivity just for reference, and you can see there's your dry line right here. Your cold front's well to the back, so your dry line moves through. You get these cells to develop during the overnight hours over there in western Arkansas. We're talking 3-4 o'clock in the morning. We could have some severe thunderstorms over there in western Arkansas, and then it moves east into the state as we get towards first thing Wednesday morning, and then it just kind of moves through the state as we get towards the early afternoon hours on Wednesday. If you were to go with the 12-kilometer NAM, so we'll watch it closely. As you can see, there's a lot of uncertainty on timing. That's why we don't have specific timing maps out right now. And as frustrating as it is to some folks out there, you're just going to have to understand that this is what we look at. This is what we do. We dissect all of these, all these graphics and stuff from data and try to make a timing map out of it. That way you have some sort of idea on what's going to be happening. So you can see during the day on Tuesday, if you were to go over the European model, this is the one last model I'm going to look at. And during the day, there's not much going on. Now, I will say there's some bubblers down here near Dallas. We got a couple up there in southeastern Kansas, a few up there near Iowa and northwestern Illinois. But not much going on here in Arkansas. It's pretty quiet. And it ends up happening as we get towards 4 o'clock. That capping starts to erode. If you go with the euro, it starts to erode. Everything starts to get going across eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. Now you take this out to 0Z, and you notice something. Those storms that start going up in western Arkansas, they die off because that capping inversion is going to be strong as we get towards Tuesday afternoon into the Tuesday evening time frame. Unfortunately, if the cap does appear to be a lot weaker than expected, we could potentially be talking about, I would dare say, almost a repeat of what we saw on Friday, where we had the significant tornado potential and stuff like that. Your wind fields during the day are a lot weaker. However, they will gradually increase significantly, especially around sunset. So watch the situation closely here. Now, you can see about 10 o'clock, a few supercells going up across northwestern Arkansas, something that we're going to have to watch closely over there. And then by midnight, you can see this. There's your line of storms beginning to develop from Iowa to Missouri, southeast Kansas, down into eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas, and western Arkansas. Something I will keep an eye on. Notice something over here. These cells that are going up, those are going to be your significant tornado producers. Those are going to be the ones that you're going to have to watch closely as we get towards this time frame here. And you can see by the time we get towards 9Z, which is 4 o'clock in the morning, I was about to say 3, but 4 o'clock in the morning, a nasty line of storms moving through. And I think what's going on, I think a lot of people, are prioritizing the tornado over the damaging wind. And I understand what just happened, with tornado damage and stuff like that. But you have to realize the damaging wind causes just as much damage as a tornado. So we're going to have to deal with both. We're going to have to deal with the tornado threat, the potentially significant tornado threat, and you're going to have to watch out for the significant damaging wind threat as we get towards 4 o'clock in the morning time frame here. So it is going to be an overnighter. I'm currently developing a plan in terms of, making sure we have continuous coverage, mainly on YouTube. I will not do continuous coverage on Facebook. It is too life-threatening. It takes away from the from the people that actually need that information and stuff like that, especially during tornado warning coverage. So we will be using Facebook for just tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings, stuff like that when we have to break in. But YouTube will be your constant source for continuous information. So during the overnight hours, you're going to have to watch this closely as we get towards late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. There's 7 a.m. sharp. People are getting ready to go for work. You got school, stuff like that. Line of storms marching in the eastern and southeastern Arkansas. If you're over to verify, I do believe we'll probably be up covering severe thunderstorm warnings and potentially tornado warnings by this point. And then by, I'd say, 10 in the morning to about noon, the lines should start to fall apart. You're going to have to watch Mississippi, eastern Louisiana, and western Alabama for the potential of seeing some significant severe weather as we get towards your Wednesday time frame here. And then that should put an end to the severe weather threat as we get towards your Wednesday time frame here. So something that we're going to continue to monitor closely. The biggest thing I want to stress to you guys right now is have a game plan ready to go, stay weather aware, and we're going to continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things Arkansas weather.